It's Barb from Wonderful Works, and today we're going to talk about something really important: how to set all kids up for success in the church classroom. And yes, that does include the kids who sometimes struggle. We're so glad you're here today.
Hey, are you okay? You've been standing outside that classroom door for a while now. Are you dropping your kid off or what? Oh, you want to, but you're afraid? Your kid has a hard time at church, and even though the class seems to work for everyone else, it doesn't always work for him. So dropping him off and worrying if he's going to be okay is hard. I get it. It does seem like some kids can have success in the class no matter what, but other kids, well, they need more help being set up for success. But you know what? All kids belong at church. So how about we talk about what we can do to make things better? 3 tips for setting all kids up for success in the church classroom. Number 1, set the tone early. When it comes to children's ministry, we've all had those kids who can be a handful in class. And if we're being honest, sometimes when they walk through the door, we may feel a bit tense. And this may come across on our faces and in our tone more than we realize. But what happens when we do that? Well, let's imagine for a minute. What would it feel like if every time you walked in somewhere, those around you seemed unhappy to see you? Would you feel relaxed and ready to learn? Or anxious and unsure of what to do next? Well, for some kids, they don't have to imagine this because they live it all the time. Some kids even expect to feel unwelcome everywhere they go, and that's no good, especially at church. So the first way we can set them up for success is by being intentional about greeting them with a big smile and making them feel genuinely welcome. Hey, I'm so glad you came today. We're going to have a great day. Setting a welcoming tone may not feel like a big deal, but it really is, especially to those kids who don't often experience it. Like those who never smile back, or those who need lots of attention, or those who can be a real handful in class. The more challenging a child has been, the more important making them feel wanted and welcome will be. So smile and imagine the difference you can make. Number 2, set specific expectations. Another reason that kids sometimes struggle is because they feel confused about what they're supposed to do. That's because a lot of times we make assumptions that all kids can read between the lines and will already understand social norms. But this just isn't true. For many children, if we don't specifically teach them what we expect, they'll guess wrong, and this can lead to anxiety and conflict. So, be clear about expectations by saying and showing what you want them to do. For example, if it's circle time and you see a child walking around the room, don't just tell them to stop, tell them exactly what to do instead. You can say, "It's time to sit on the floor with our friends." Or for those who need visual prompts, try modeling the behavior by sitting in the circle yourself and saying something like, "It's time to sit with our friends. You can sit next to me." You may be surprised about what a big difference those small details can make. Number 3, set the focus on the positive. Pointing out good behavior ties our first 2 techniques together. That's because using positive words continues to make kids feel safe and welcome, and pointing out good behavior reinforces clear behavioral expectations. So give praise often. And remember that it's not important that a child does something outstanding to earn praise. Any positive choice can be a starting point to build from strengths. So be on the lookout for good choices and point them out like this. "Hey, great job using walking feet in the hallway today. I love the way you did that." Or, "Nice job sitting quietly during story time. I noticed how well you paid attention today." Positive feedback often leads to more positive behavior. Well, I think we learned a few good tips for setting all kids up for success, but there's one more thing before you go. Remember those parents, the ones who feel anxious about dropping their kids off at class? When they come to pick up, make it a point to share something positive about their child and then tell them you can't wait to see their family come back next week, because sometimes parents need to be set up for success too.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time.